John is in with sports, and John, it's not every day Michael Jordan is in the Northwest suburbs.
Maybe any day, yeah.
Maybe
I don't know
ever.
if he's ever been here and may never come back again. It was a big day. What is the best way to draw attention to a charity tournament? Well, landing Michael Jordan to play in your event is a pretty good start. There were a few familiar faces out at Rush Creek Saturday.
I'm quitting after that one, too.
John, Michael Jordan, and Kevin Garnett among the stars playing in Trent Tucker's charity tennis and golf tournament. For Tucker, it was a chance to give something back to the community.
Well, you know, someone helped me when I was a kid, get to a certain area, grew up, and our kids need help from everybody. You know, one family member can't raise a family, it takes a whole community to raise a family, raise kids, and that's why we're here.
Good time had by all at Rush Creek. Well, area volleyball teams take a break from conference play over the weekend. They don't always take a break from matches, though. Maple Grove in the far court playing Totino Grace in the Crimson Invitational. Joe Thorbig will get the kill here for Totino Grace as they take the lead on the Crimson. And Maple Grove coming back with a big hit for a point. It's a close first game between Grace and Maple Grove. It's a best 2 out of 3 match. Grace a little stronger. The back set to Joe Nauman for the kill. Eagles win the first one 15-11. In the second game off the Maple Grove serve, the Eagles with a nice dig. And then it's Nauman again hammering down another hit as the Eagles beat Maple Grove in pool play 15-11 and 15-5. Here are the championship round results. Hopkins defeats Richfield in 2 straight to claim the title. North Edge is the host Crimson for 3rd place. Totino Grace places 5th after beating South. Osseo won a tournament in Hudson, Wisconsin Saturday. The Orioles beat Tartan for the championship. And Champlin Park won the Irondale tourney, beating Blaine in the final. Week 3 of the high school football season in the northwest suburbs produces some thrillers as the conference races heat up. In the Battle of Classic Lake favorites last Friday, Hopkins built an 18-0 halftime lead on Wayzata with plays like this 67-yard scoring bomb from Sean Smith to Corey Patterson. But the Trojans stormed back, scoring 21 unanswered in the second half to claim a 21-18 win. Otis Smallwood scoring the winning touchdown with 46 seconds to play for the game winner. In the game just as wild in Osseo, Park Center built a 27-13 lead on Maple Grove, only to see the Crimson tie the game on a Mike Klosterman to Brent Lawson TD pass late. After Maple Grove's Josh Swanson scored in overtime, Chris DeBar stopped just short of the end zone, and Maple Grove wins 33-27. Finally, in Maplewood, Osseo broke open a defensive struggle with 23 second-half points to rout Hill Murray 30-6. The Orioles intercepted 3 Pioneer passes, and they are now 2-1 on the season. A Champlin Park football player is drawing quite a bit of attention from college football recruiters. He's also a national champion boxer. On this week's Sports Jam, Jay Wilcox has a closer look at the Rebels' Joe Abell.
I got into boxing when I was about 9 years old, and I got into it because when I was younger, I always used to get picked on.
It's kind of hard to imagine anyone picking on Joe Abell these days. On the football field and in the ring, the 6'5", 210-pound Champlin Park senior packs a wallop. After the early exposure, Joe took some time to decide how much he wanted to box.
I was fighting maybe 9 and 10, and then I think I lost one fight, so I was kind of scared, so I quit until I was about 15 or 16.
And you can see the rest of Joe's story and all of this week's action on Sports Jam. Watch it Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday on Cable 12. Hard to believe that anybody picked on him when he was a kid, so not too much happening anymore.
After the play stops, that's not the kid you take a cheap shot at,
no,
right?
Exactly.
No, he's
right.
the one. Leave him alone. Well, the computers at the library don't just look up books anymore. Check out their new high-tech stuff. Up next.
And John Jacobson joins us now with sports. It was a cold one out there. Not as cold as down south, though, where a football game between Mankato East and Austin was canceled because of 3 inches of snow.
Well, that's nice.
I bet you a couple of teams here would like to have had their games canceled tonight.
Yeah, it was not a good night for a few teams, but yeah, rain and cold, kind of the story of tonight. It was also homecoming night for a few schools. The Armstrong football team had won its first 3 conference games to find themselves all alone at top of the Classic Lake. Tonight, the Falcons looked to keep their lead. Homecoming night and a good crowd on hand over at Armstrong as the Falcons hosted Minnetonka. 4th and goal from the 2. Josh Pomerleau takes the pitch from Joe Tongan and scores. The kick fails. 6-0 Armstrong in the first quarter. Tonka touchdown coming up. 3rd and goal from the 1. Dan Berglund's pass tips off of Matt Keating, but Justin Hamilton makes the nice grab. Tonka up 7-6 late in the first quarter. Tonka TD run coming up. Cody Lynch taking the pitch from Berglund. He scores, and Tonka's on top 14-6. Armstrong fans, though, not deterred. Here's a touchdown coming from Ryan Cairns, and Armstrong back in it at 14-12. 2-point conversion. They give to Pomerleau. He's in, and we're tied at 14. A very excited Armstrong sideline. After a Tonka field goal in overtime, Armstrong trails 17-14. Controversial winning touchdown. Did Cairns hang on to the ball? Armstrong says yes. Minnetonka says no. The officials say yes. That's what counts. Armstrong wins this one in overtime. Yeah, touchdown. 20-17 Falcons, the final. Well, it was homecoming, too, at Maple Grove, where the Crimson got an early start as they played the front half of a Carlton doubleheader. Maple Grove crazy fans out in force as the Crimson hosted Hill Murray. And they have something to cheer about in the second quarter. Caleb Marks scoring from a yard out. 2-point conversion is good, and it's 8-0 in favor of Maple Grove. Then, still in the quarter, it's the handoff to Josh Stronson. He scores. Maple Grove leads at 14-0. Crimson leading here in the first half. Cheerleaders have something to cheer about. Defense comes up big. Mike Bear picks off Joe Brennan. Watch the return by Bear. He'll return this about 45 yards, setting up Maple Grove's offense for another scoring opportunity. Finally brought down at around the 30-yard line. I'm running down on the half. Quarterback Hosterman looking downfield. He'll find Brent Lawson open. Lawson will haul it in and be brought down at the 4-yard line. And that'll set up another Thronson touchdown run, capping it off. Maple Grove goes on to win big tonight. They defeat Hill Murray 34-6 is the final. Rain coming down a little harder for the nightcap as Osseo hosts Blaine. After falling behind 7-0, Jesse Howard keeps it, goes in for the touchdown. The point after fails, and the Orioles trail 7-6. Then it's Blaine's Trevor Frischman taking the handoff and barrels in for the touchdown. That play gives the Bengals a 14-6 edge. Coach Claude Allaire hoping for the comeback for the Orioles. Next series for Blaine. Brent Pitchelow takes the pitch. He goes in for the touchdown, and the Bengals start to pull away 20-6 Blaine. Then Matt Hendricks hits Brandon Bochinski over the middle, puts his shoulder down, and he's gone. Blaine building a big lead. The Bengals leading late in this one, Osseo, as we go on the air tonight. Blaine leading Osseo. After playing in the state finals last season, an 0-4 start isn't what the Champlain Park Rebels had in mind. A win over arch rival Anoka, however, could help ease the sting of a rough start. In Anoka tonight, Rebels and Tornadoes tangling at Goodrich Field. Jeff Stock following some strong blocks up the middle. 6-yard touchdown run for the Rebels. Champlain Park on the board. That ties the game 7-all late in the first quarter. Josh Wettlaufer answers. 25 is in there somewhere. And Wettlaufer bounces off a couple of late tackle attempts to score from 20 yards out. 14-7 Anoka. Watch this one. Matthew Gordon Jackson breaks through to block the punt. The Rebels take over deep in Anoka territory. They get a field goal, and it's 14-10 Anoka at halftime. Second half, it's Sean Austin going up top. Number 42, Joe Gregory, is loose behind the defense, and he's gone. This play covers 67 yards for a score as Champlain Park takes the lead for the first time, 17-14 in the third. They aren't through yet. Stock breaks free again midway through the third. This gives Champlain Park a 24-14 lead. The Rebels win their first game tonight of the season, 30-27 is the final. Totino Grace doesn't have a home field this season. Jim Totino Field is being renovated, so the Eagles have gotten a little help from their friends to play their home games. Tonight, a rain-soaked Brooklyn Center High School the site for the Eagles' so-called homecoming game. First quarter, Tim Singwald throws to Ben Stitch, and the big fullback goes the rest of the way for the score. 22 yards on the touchdown. Grace leads Irondale 6-0 after one quarter. The Eagles pour it on in the second quarter. Irondale fumbles the ball away on 4 consecutive possessions, and the Eagles make the Knights pay each time. Singwald here on the option keeper. The senior quarterback takes this one just about all the way to the end zone. They mark him down on the half-yard line. It sets up a 1-yard run. It's 18-0 Grace. Stitch caps off the first half scoring in the final minute of the second quarter, scoring a 12-yard touchdown run. Grace all over Irondale, 60-0 the final. In other games, Classic Lake Wayzata rips Cooper, 57-0 the final there. Hart Center gets its first win. They blank Roseville 20-0. And Brooklyn Center falls just short, losing 27-20 at Orono. Lately, most of the talk about how many classes there should be for playoffs in various sports in Minnesota high schools centers on adding more. Coaches in one sport are pushing for a reduction. The Girls Basketball Coaches Association is finalizing a proposal to go from 4 classes to 3 in their sport. In fact, that's what the coaches actually wanted in the first place when the decision to move away from the 2-class system was made.
In 1995, we surveyed our people when it was still a 2-class tournament, and the vote was 122 to 63 of head coaches to go to a 3-class tournament. At that time, we were told there would be no opportunity for a 3-class tournament. You could take a 4-class or stay in the 2, and at that point, that's what our membership wanted. Since then, volleyball, wrestling, softball, and baseball have all added 3-class tournaments after we were told there was no possibility of that. So we polled our membership last year again at our coaches clinic, and our head coaches voted 140 to 50 to go to a 3-class tournament if it involved consolation.
The current system is locked in for 2 more years. One sticking point may be the coach's desire to bring all 24 teams to play the entire tournament in the Twin Cities in a proposed 3-class alignment. The State High School League has balked at that idea in the past. That proposal will be submitted to a review committee on October 15th. So the coaches want it, but the high school league doesn't always go with what the coaches like. So we'll see how that plays out here in a couple of weeks.
Is there any idea which way that might play out?
Well,
I'm
thinking that the high school would rather stay with the 4 classes. It is hard to bring that many schools to the Twin Cities and put them up for a few days. It gets into a cost situation. So
okay,
yeah, we'll see.
All right, thanks. Well, up next on Cable 12 News, Frank may be on vacation, but out there isn't. The best of when we come back.
The high school football regular season is in the books. The team's wrapped up with a little Wednesday night football. Armstrong at Hopkins, the winner ties Wayzata for the Classic Lake title. We go right to overtime in this one. Sean Smith and Leroy Duncan on the screen pass. He just gets in. Hopkins leads it 32-26. Armstrong with a 4th down in overtime. Ball at the 2-yard line. But Josh Pomerleau is stuffed by the Royals. Drew Markison, he does not get in, and the Royals hang on 32-26. The Royals and the Trojans tie for the Classic Lake title. Wayzata wrapped up the conference season last week. Wednesday, a high-profile matchup with 2nd-ranked Cretin-Durham Hall. To the University of St. Thomas we go for this big one between 2 ranked teams. The Raiders, Rashawn Powers. Powers his way into the end zone for a 1-yard touchdown run. 7-0 Cretin-Durham Hall in the first quarter. Then Cretin goes to the air. Watch Joe Maurer with plenty of time to throw on this play, and he's coming right at you. Andy Fleming on the receiving end of this touchdown pass, and the Raiders are all over Wayzata, 19-0 at halftime. Trojans coach Brad Anderson hoping for a big comeback, and he gets one. Down 25-0 in the fourth quarter. Tom Petrie sneaks one into the end zone, and the Trojans get on the board. Later, it's fullback Otis Smallwood with another short touchdown run, and the Trojans are back in it at 25-19. All of this in the fourth quarter, but the rally falls just short. Petrie's 4th down pass in the final minutes is picked off by Winston Bell, and Cretin-Durham Hall holds off Wayzata 25-19. The Raiders are 8-0, the Trojans 6-2. 7-2. Last season, Maple Grove won the Twin Cities Suburban American title. The Crimson had a chance to tie for the 1999 title if they could knock off league leader Mounds View. Mounds View undefeated in 7 games coming into the big matchup. First drive of the game, and Mustangs quarterback Don Eustace reaches out and the ball crosses the plane to the goal line. Mounds View up early 7-0. It was 10-0 at half, and then Mike Klosterman goes up top to Jacob Johnson for the touchdown. The Crimson missed the point after, and it's 10-6 Mounds View. The Crimson get it back. Klosterman looking for Johnson again. What a grab. He hauls in the tipped pass. 2-point conversion, an identical play, and the Crimson take the lead at 14-10. But the Mustangs respond. Eustace looks to the corner of the end zone for Demetrius Charles. That corner a popular place. 17-14 Mounds View. Eustace looks for Childs again for another touchdown. Mounds View finishes the regular season 8-0. They win it 23-14. The coveted Ospar Trophy up for grabs as Osseo hosts Park Center. Osseo tailback Rod Edom takes the handoff and follows some good blocks. He bounces it outside, being tripped up after the 2-yard line. Osseo on the doorstep. Sean Simon takes it the final 2 yards for a touchdown. Osseo leads it 7-0 in the first quarter. No more scoring in the half under a bright moon at Carlton Field. Late in the game, Park Center finally gets some offense going. Chris DeMars hits Mike Stellmacher, who shoved out of bounds. The Pirates trying to tie this one up. But watch this play. Osseo's number 37, Matt Muner, makes a fantastic diving interception to preserve the shutout for Osseo. The Orioles keep the Ospar Trophy with a 7-0 win.
Oh, well, it feels great. I mean, the defense played big, and I don't know. It was a great game.
They had a lot of good players, and we didn't know if we could stop them. We wanted to, but we knew we could if we really tried, and it just worked out in the end. It was a great win.
Champlin Park would like to forget the first month of the season when they lost their first 4 games. Since then, the Rebels had won 3 straight. Wednesday, the Rebels going for number 4 in a row, hosting Coon Rapids. Jeff Stock with a huge night for Champlin Park. This 13-yard scoring run puts the Rebels in front 14-7. Stock with 219 yards on the ground. Then the Rebels go with the reverse. Rob Kuchar on the handoff from Stock. He scores from 21 yards out. And the Rebels take a 21-7 lead into halftime. Clay Buckberger is having a great season for Coon Rapids. A tough run in the fourth quarter. Goes for 20 yards down to the Rebels' 4-yard line, setting up a Cardinal score. They pull within 27-20. But Stock rips off another big run. This one covers 28 yards. Champlin Park with 250 yards rushing in the game, and they win their 4th game in a row. The final 27-20 over Coon Rapids.
We knew that we had a slow start. We let a lot of games get away, and we just thought that we needed to build, and we got the first win against Anoka and just kind of kept going, and that was our goal at mid-season. We kind of restructured our goals and said we've got to win 1 at a time, win 4 in a row, be playoff ready, and hopefully we're getting to that point.
Other games Wednesday night, Brooklyn Center loses its regular season finale in the Metro Alliance 27-12 to Fridley. That's all we have.
Well, that's busy.
That's all the scores we have.
Now, Joe, what happens now? Do these teams get seeded for the sections?
Teams get seeded, most of them tomorrow,
Right.
and we'll know who will be playing, and the section tournament begins next week. Almost everybody has a game Tuesday. Occasionally a team will get a bye in the first round. There will be a couple of those teams from around the area that get a bye, but it's Tuesday, Saturday next week.
Did that go fast or what?
I know. What happened?
The goal is to get to the Metrodome, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Thanks, John. Well, up next, find out how volunteering is more than a bargain for one local resident. Football playoffs already.
And it looks like we'll have a decent night for it tonight. Yeah, the playoffs start tonight for most of the teams, and a very good matchup, I think, between Maple Grove and Armstrong tonight. Section playoffs begin tonight for most of our local squads. One of the more interesting matchups is a Section 6 Class 5A quarterfinal game. 4th seed Armstrong meets 5th seed Maple Grove. At Armstrong, the Falcons are looking to bounce back from 2 close losses at the end of the regular season. The Armstrong defense has earned praise from opponents throughout the season. The offense is now catching up. Running back Josh Pomerleau was one of the top rushers in the Classic Lake. But instead of being discouraged by the last 2 tough losses to Wayzata and Hopkins, the Falcons are more fired up than ever.
Our spirits are even higher. I think we want to go back and play those teams even more. We beat Maple Grove, we get a chance at Hopkins, and most likely if we beat Hopkins, we're going to get another shot at Wayzata, so it's looking good.
We're playing well right now. We're making a few too many mental mistakes, I think, but as a whole, we're coming together as a team. The offense is starting to play better, and everyone knows about the defense, so.
Maple Grove is a defending champion in Section 6. The Crimson have had an up-and-down regular season. Maple Grove carries a 4-4 record into the postseason. The Crimson beat Armstrong in the section semifinals last season on their way to state. Maple Grove had a 3-game winning streak snapped in the last regular season game, a close loss to unbeaten Moundsview. Crimson expect a tough game from Armstrong.
They play solid football, so I think in these games, I think it's a team that plays consistent. You know, if you make a mistake, there's a big breakdown. The other team's going to jump on that and take advantage of it. And the thing is for us to, you know, not have those obviously and play consistently.
I think the keys are going to be on defense. As long as our line plays well and gets a lot of engagement, keeps the offensive line off the backers to make the big plays, keeps safeties in good shape, I think we should be fine with the defense-wise. Offense is moving the ball around plenty. As long as the defense stays in the game, we should have it.
We're just going to have to play one of the best games of the year. Everyone's going to come to play because we know that if we don't come to play, we're going home and we're not practicing anymore.
The Crimson and Falcons kick off at 7 o'clock tonight at Armstrong High School. In other Section 6 games, Park Center is at Wayzata while Osseo plays at Buffalo. Top seed Hopkins received the first-round bye and hosts the winner of the Maple Grove-Armstrong game Saturday afternoon. There's one more night of outdoor soccer before teams move inside to the Metrodome. Thursday, the state quarterfinals will be held at 6 sites around the metro area. The Wayzata girls extended their season at least another week by winning the Section 2AA championship. The Trojans have lost just once in 18 matches this fall. This is their 9th appearance in the state playoffs this decade. In all 8 previous appearances, Wayzata teams have reached the state semifinals and the Metrodome. Players say there is still more work to be done.
That was one of our goals the entire season, was to make it this far, and we feel like we're not quite there yet. We really want to make it to the Dome, so the next game is going to be really important. We're all really looking forward to it.
We've been pushing ourselves all season. We've been working really hard, and we feel like we deserve this 100%. We've been pushing ourselves. Our section wasn't as strong as some of the others, but I think we've been pushing ourselves enough.
Trojans face Section 6AA champion Bloomington Jefferson Thursday in the state quarterfinals. Wayzata hasn't faced the Jaguars yet this year, but they know they're in for a good test.
Well, obviously, if they can beat Apple Valley, they're a very good side. I've heard that they knock the ball around, which is probably going to help us somewhat because it's going to be a team that will try and play. They won't just kick the balls around. But I heard they're very physical. They're very big and strong. They're fast, and that'll present some problems for us.
The Trojans and Bloomington Jefferson play at 5:30 Thursday at Richfield High School. Wednesday night, we'll preview the Wayzata boys soccer team and their state quarterfinal round match with Minnetonka. The prep volleyball playoffs begin this evening for some of our local teams. 2 area teams enter the playoffs ranked in the state's top 10 in the final regular season poll. Alexandria continues to hold the top spot in the Class 3A rankings. Egan is second with White Bear Lake third and Marshall fourth. Armstrong is rated 5th. Osseo is rated 10th. The Falcons and Orioles are the top 2 seeds for the Section 5 AAA tournament. Hopkins and Champlain Park also receive votes in the poll. And Bobby, tonight at 10:30, we'll have some volleyball highlights along with obviously prep football highlights.
A lot of football, right?
Yes.
Thanks, John. Well, we could make like a tree and leave.
But we won't. Instead, we'll be back with some students anxious to clean up that yard mess. That story is next.
Yep. High school football playoffs are underway.
Some wild games. Let's get right to them. The Armstrong and Maple Grove football teams each lost out on a chance to tie for titles in their respective conferences last week. That was the regular season. Well, Tuesday night, the slate is wiped clean as the Section 6 tournament opened up. Maple Grove in white, Mike Klosterman throws for Josh Thronson. The Crimson halfback breaks a couple of tackles en route, and he's gone. Covers 47 yards, and the Crimson with a 2-point conversion are up 8-0. On to the second quarter now. Armstrong's Joe Tongan lefts one up to Matt Wilson. He climbs the ladder to haul it in. The extra point would fail. Nice catch. 8-6. Armstrong trails it. Then it's play action time. Tongan spots Luke Morris behind the defense. 25 yards for the strike, and Morris with a little wave then to the camera. Armstrong leads at 22-8 at the half. Fast forward now to late in the fourth quarter. Klosterman hits Adam Hamilton for the score. Crimsons get the 2-point conversion, tie the game at 22 with $1:35 left to go. 3 seconds left now. Armstrong's Chris Hughesby on for a field goal try. He nails it right through the uprights as time expires, and Armstrong wins a thriller 25-22 over Maple Grove.
Well, I really wasn't that nervous. It was something we practiced a lot all week, just practicing field goals, and we have this thing called the Ring of Fire. We just practice that. It gives a lot of pressure on a field goal kicker, and just I was in there and I was calm and I concentrated and I just kicked it through.
Well, I guess you could say we're getting used to it, but we got to step it up definitely, because if we keep doing this, I don't know, it's going to happen, come Saturday.
And up next, the Falcons visit the top-seeded Hopkins Royals Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock. That will be the section semifinals. Well, it had been 6 years since Osseo and Buffalo played each other in football. Their 1993 meeting was a memorable one, with the Orioles defeating the Bison in a driving rainstorm. Well, that win put the Orioles into the state semis at the Metrodome. While the win Tuesday night would advance the O's to the section semifinals this year. Coming up off the play-action fake, Jesse Howard hits Matt Munier, and he turns it upfield and fights his way into the end zone. Extra point would fail, but it was 6-zip Osseo early in the second quarter. Then the Orioles' defense would come through. Buffalo quarterback Steven Novacek puts it up, and it's picked off by Ametrio Lavelles. Lavelles' good speed. He returns it all the way to the Buffalo 10. Osseo obviously in prime scoring position after that interception. And just a few plays later, Ron Edom will take the handoff. He runs into a huge pile, then bounces it to the outside and takes it in for the score. Orioles get the 2-point conversion. It's back to normal at 14-0. Buffalo comes back with a James Martin touchdown. They cut it to 14-6 at this point, but it was Osseo winning at Buffalo. Impressive win. Final score there, 21-12. The Orioles' opponent, the winner of the Park Center Wayzata game. Highlights from that one here, first quarter. Wayzata quarterback Tom Petrie runs it into the end zone himself. An 8-yard TD, and the Trojans led 13-zip after 1 quarter. Wayzata going for their 7th win of the year, and Coach Brad Anderson's club held the lead. Park Center with a great opportunity to score in the second quarter. Jerron Williamson on the receiving end of a Chris DeMars pass, but just before he reaches pay dirt, he fumbles in a mad scramble for the football. Nobody can grab it. Goes right through the end zone. That's a touchdown. Wayzata's offense hits again, this time with a pass. Petrie to Marion Barber III. 20 yards for the score, and it's 20-0 Wayzata. Second half now, Wayzata goes up 27-zip on this 4-yard run by John Rybarczyk, and they advance to the semis. 40-15 win over PC. The Trojans host the Orioles Saturday afternoon at 1 in the Section 6 Class 5A semifinals. Well, just last week, Champlin Park beat Coon Rapids to close out the regular season. The way the section seedings fell, the teams matched up again Tuesday night. Tim Herman's squad with a 4-game winning streak, and Riza Mahmoud is back after an injury. He takes the handoff, gets to the outside. Mahmoud tough to catch. Cards cannot catch him here. This touchdown would make it 14-zip Rebels in the second quarter. Jumbo fullback Craig O'Hearn with a big night for the Rebels. He plows in for the score on 4th and 1, and that TD makes it 21-zip. Just before the halftime, Dan Anderson throws it deep, and Jamel Alkins makes the catch at the back of the end zone. Coon Rapids basically getting on the scoreboard here. A big lift for the Cards heading into the halftime break. Second half, and O'Hearn will smash in again. 4 TDs for O'Hearn alone. The Rebels lead at 28-14. Huge play coming up here, down 28-20. Anderson throws to the end zone, but it is picked off by John Nash. The big linebacker takes it the other direction. He returns it 57 yards down to the Cardinal 43. Champlain Park would never look back from there. The Rebels win at 49-27. The win for the Rebels gives them another shot at Blaine. Bengals beat Champlain Park 39-31 a month ago. That game will kick off 7 o'clock Saturday in Blaine. Totino Grace and Breck won last night. Both of those teams will also play again on Saturday night. Let's talk a different sport. Volleyball playoffs also started Tuesday night, and it was first-round action in Section 5 AAA. Minneapolis-Washburn, how about those Millers? Taking on Park Center at Cooper High. The Pirates in white, Amber Svensson, bumps it over, and the Millers' #1, Linsa Fufa, sends it to Carrie Bertram for the kill. Millers up early. Later, it's Sarah Lindstrom serving for PC. The Millers get it to the net, and the hit is blocked there by Swenson for a Pirates point. Second game, ace serve coming up for Park Center's Katie Beckman. The Pirates actually lose the first 2 games of this match, but they rally to beat the Millers in 5, and that means they advance to Wednesday night's second round.
The Millers, your alma mater.
That is my alma mater. It hurts, to be honest, when they get beat in anything about it.
Well, next up, we'll introduce you to a woman who's hoping her attitude is catching on.
Our weekly Helping Hand segment is next.
What person made the greatest impact